Hey, welcome back to Module 4, Lesson 3. This lesson is all about look. That's the L in the value statement. We're looking at the results that we've created for ourselves in the past, and we're looking at the result we'll continue to create for ourselves if we continue to think, feel, and act the way that we have been in regards to the circumstance. So, some things to understand when we are looking at the result. There's a few things to keep in mind. That is, if it's an individual model, only you belong in the result line. Meaning that in the trash can module, the result would not be Melissa doesn't take out the trash. All right, so I can't create results for other people. The result always focuses on what my actions create for myself. And so in this case, the result would be I ensure that I continue to take out the trash because I'm lazy. So that's kind of the irony of that. So the R line only belongs to the people or individual in the model. It could be that you have a family group model and you're asking yourselves, as a family, if we continue to believe this thought, or if we continue to have these beliefs or these values, or we continue to think that this is what's most important, what does that lead to? So in that case, you could talk about the result for the group of those who are participating, have a shared thought, shared feeling, and shared actions. And so when you're looking at what to put down in the R line, you want to be asking yourself several questions. You could be asking yourself, what do I ensure happens? Or what did I ensure happened? What am I creating? What did I create? How did I show up? I ensured I show up lazy. So the thought, Melissa is lazy, actually leads to me showing up as lazy because I am not willing to put forward the effort to go talk to her. It's an easy belief. It takes way too much effort to actually go and ask why she left the trash. All right, so another thing, depending on whether you're looking at actions in the past or you're thinking about a future scenario, if I think about this event that's in the future, what will I create for myself, or what have I created myself in the past? And so you can always look in the past and you can look at the present and the future. What were the results of my past? I avoided talking to my wife about the problem. I took out the trash. I was too lazy to fix the main problem. Future-wise, if I continue to think, feel, and act this way, I ensure that I'm going to be the one that will always take out the trash. And again, I said the word always. There's a great likelihood that there'll be times when my wife takes the trash. But essentially, I am guaranteeing for myself that I'm not doing anything to change the situation. So I'm ensuring that things will continue the way that they are. I am ensuring that I'm too lazy to change how I show up and how I talk to my wife. And so after we've done that, we want to look at alternative futures, alternative results. How could this change? Because if we can't use the power of our imagination of something being any other way, we'll have a hard time evolving the way that we think about something. And so we can go about this several different ways. You can ask myself, what else could have happened if I had done something different? Okay, or you'd ask, what is the result I'm looking for? So what are some other results I could create in my life? And you can go about this several different ways. You could play pretend, like, okay, pretend I came home and I thought this thought instead of this. So instead I came home, thought, I wonder why the trash is overflowing. You think through how I would have felt, what I might have done differently, what would the result have been. So if I'd come home and said, I wonder why the trash is full, overflowing, that would lead me to feel curious and go and talk to her, all right? And what would the result be? The result still might be that I take out the trash, but I'm not showing up as lazy. I'm not showing up the martyr. I'm not showing up as this grouchy, condescending husband, and that's not who I want to show up as. So I could change how I show up to the situation. Now, I can't force her to change. I can't force her to take out the trash. And so the circumstance may repeat itself, but I can change how I show up. I can change how I act. I can change the values that I'm operating off of. Instead of going from biological bias and false assumptions, I can show up with curiosity. I can show up and change how I view the circumstance. I can show up with gratitude that everything else is done and all I have to do is do the trash. So there's a lot of ways I can show up different and have a different result. All right, that leads us, if so many different results are possible, how do we go about deciding which result we actually want? If we are contending with bias, we're contending with strong emotion, we're contending with false assumptions, how do we go about understanding what we really want and being intentional with that versus what we may be naturally, habitually, instinctively inclined to do? And that is what we're going to in the next lesson. So looking forward to your questions that you have for the group or individual coaching call. Run through this with your own circumstances. Try to look at what you're creating. Make sure it's just you in our line. You can think about what you're becoming. How did you show up? What are you creating in your life? And there's an arc form to looking at your results. I find ironically that a lot of times that they tend to mimic something in what we're thinking about or what we're feeling about. So the clues as to the result you're creating is often in the thought, the feeling, and the actions. Now, we can run through this. Our one-on-one coaching, this is what I'm going to be coaching you on, helping you understand what the results are. And so I'm really excited to see you and looking forward to the next lesson.